Hi guys, and welcome to today's class. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so grateful that you're here, and I've got what I hope is a fun class for you guys today. The theme of today's class is very much focusing on the right kind of effort throughout our practice. So I mentioned this in my classes, but a lot of times when we flow, and I love flows, but we can lose that awareness that's necessary in our movements in order for us to transition safely, in order for us to go deeper into our postures. So today's class is going to be maybe a little bit slower as we really focus on what we're doing, but I hope that we'll be building up strength, building up heat as we practice. And I'm going to get started. So let's lie down, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, hands on your belly, or one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. You can even reach the arms overhead and stretch. And as you lie here, finding that connection to body and breath, deepening your inhalations and exhalations. And as I was planning today's class, thinking about physically the right kind of effort, I wanted the theme, or the focus, in terms of perhaps an intention for today's practice, to be ahimsa. So ahimsa is one of yoga's ethical principles, one of its yamas, and it means non-violence. Ahimsa parama dharma. Non-violence is our greatest walk of life. Now when we talk about non-violence, it is non-violence to others, non-violence to animals, but it's also non-violence to ourselves. And quite often, that is reflected in the words that we use, the tones, our behavior, our thoughts. When any of those things happen to be negative, they cause harm. And I always think it's important to recognize that everything is an outward expression of what is happening within us. So if things aren't okay on the inside, they don't look okay on the outside either. There's so much that we can learn about ourselves when we become a witness to our behavior, our words, our thoughts. The more that we can notice those patterns, the more that we can choose whether or not to engage in the things that cause harm. And that is when we walk a life of non-violence. Now it's interesting because non-violence and truth, satya, go hand in hand. So as you lie on your mat, I want you to find that connection to your truth, to the real you, because it's always from that place of connection that we can start to ask ourselves perhaps whether we're living our life in line with our values, with the kind of person we know we can be, the kind of person we want to be, the kind of person we are underneath it all. Life can be heavy, it can bog us down. But when we find that connection to our truth, we can focus on living a life of non-violence, of non-harm. And we need to start with ourselves first. Yoga is such a wonderful practice because it helps us to confront our shadow, our inner darkness. And that is why I always tell my students that the beginning and end of our practice are probably the most important moments of our class. So notice if you get uncomfortable with having to sit still, with having to find that connection. If the mind wanders, just gently draw it back. Allow yourself to accept and love your limitations. And notice how that plays out in your practice, especially when things get hard or different, frustrating. We are going to practice nonviolence in our practice today as well. If you'd like a different intention for your practice, that's absolutely fine. Please set it now. And then take a moment to offer up your practice to someone you love, someone that could use a little extra energy today, even if that someone is you. Breathing all together as one. We take a deep, full inhale through the nose. Fill up those lungs. Open up the mouth and sigh it completely out. Once again, deep, full breath in. Feel the belly and the chest rise. We open up the mouth and let it go. Last one, deepest, fullest, most expansive breath. We breathe all the way to the very top. Open up and let it go. Close the mouth now. Relax the jaw. Place the tongue to the roof of the mouth and begin to engage Ujjayi breath. If you're new to Ujjayi breath, just see if you can hold on to that sighing sound you made with the mouth open, but keeping the mouth closed. It's a little whispering sound in the throat. That breath allows us to keep coming back to our breath as we move through a meditative flow. On your next inhalation, draw those knees in towards one another. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Gentle rocks from side to side. Now, I've been talking to a few of you who have been expressing a little bit of back discomfort when you practice. So I'd like us to start our practice engaging our glutes and engaging our core, two things that are essential to protect our back. When either of these are weak, then our back tends to compensate, our muscles tend to spasm, and things become a lot pinchier there. So keeping your feet hip distance apart, toes angle a little more in than out, press into the heels. I want you to squeeze the glutes before you lift them up. So the glutes are engaged, and as you start to tuck the pelvis, we lift the hips using the glutes rather than using the lower back. We are going to take a breath here, and then gently lower the hips back down. Moving a little slower than we normally would. I want you to lift the hips up. Keep those glutes nice and engaged. Squeeze them at the top. Press into the heels, and then lower them gently back to the ground. Once again, we lift ourselves up mindfully, slowly, with engagement. Lower yourself back, down. We keep going. Lift yourself up. Pressing into those heels. Maybe things are starting to turn on, fire up, feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe the legs are starting to shake. We're going to keep going. Lower back down. Let's do that 3 more times. Lift, press into the heels, lower down. Last 2. Lift, lower down. Last 1, lift, and we lower down. Well done, guys. Hug those knees in towards your chest, releasing all that fire, all that heat. Maybe gentle rocks from side to side. Now, keeping our core engagement simple as well. Lower the feet back down onto the ground, feet hip distance apart. I want you to draw the belly in so that your lower back touches the ground. And I want you to wrap the ribs in as well. So it's like you've got a corset on. And without even lifting our head, we are already engaging those core muscles. I want you to keep pulling downwards. Keep getting that back onto your mat. Keep that engagement exactly as it is.
Draw your chin towards your chest, hands towards your knees. Lift up and lower down. Up and lower down. Maybe the movement is minute, but you are focusing on pulling the belly inwards, keeping that connection with the lower back as you mindfully lift and lower. Really pay attention to where you are feeling this in the body. Start to feel the core engage. Maybe the neck is becoming a little bit uncomfortable. We keep going for another 3, for 2, for 1. Release back down. Hug those knees in towards your chest. So just a little light warm up there so that we feel the engagement of these 2 areas of the body. And as we move through our practice, maybe you'll start to pay attention to them a little bit more. Slide your hands under your knees. We begin to rock and roll forwards and backwards, massaging the spine. Use your core. Keep that ball nice and small. Next, rock forward, cross at the ankles. Plant the hands. Let's make our way into tabletop. So, hands shoulder distance apart, underneath the shoulders, knees hip distance underneath the hips. I want you to once again find that long spine, so drawing the belly in as if we were lying down on our mat and we're trying to get the lower back onto our mat. Now, I already feel my core engaging at this point. I hope you guys do too. We're going to tuck the toes under. I want you to hover the knees off the ground just an inch or 2. From here, I want you to squeeze the hands and the feet towards one another. Pay attention when the knees lift a little higher. I know this happens to me too. Maybe you stay here. If it's too much, drop the knees back down as we do this. Otherwise, as we inhale, we're going to drop the belly, tilt the pelvis, lift the gaze, come into our cow pose. As we exhale, round out through the back. Try to keep that left knee about an inch off the ground. Bring your right knee to your nose. Bring it back. Keep the knees hovering. Drop the belly. Lift the chest. Lift the gaze. And then left knee to nose. Try not to lift any higher. I know how hard this is. We bring the left foot back. Drop the belly. Lift the gaze. Right side. Round it out. Bring it back. We inhale. Left side. I know everything's shaking, guys. Last round. We inhale. Right. Inhale. Left. And lower it down. Woo, I felt that in my arms. All right, guys, coming into a puppy pose. Maybe walking the knees back so you're staying on your mat. In your puppy pose, I want you to come up onto the fingertips. Draw the belly in. So again, we're trying to get that long spine rather than hyperextending through that lower back. And lower either the forehead or the chest towards the ground. Lengthen out through the sides of the body. Try to keep, again, that engagement, that wrapping inwards of the core. We take a breath here. And then ripple forward. So start to really round out through the back. Shift the weight into your hands. Drop the belly. Engage the glutes as you drop the belly. We're going to lower ourselves down. If you have to, reposition the hands a little closer to your chest. Lift up, pressing into the hands. Squeeze those glutes. Palms reach back. Elbows draw in. Maybe you start to bend the knees. Making sure that it doesn't hurt in the spine. If it does, release the feet and keep the feet apart. And then slowly press into the hands. Come back into that active puppy pose. We're going to do that one more time. Round out through the back. Shift the weight forward. Drop the belly. Elbows draw in. Palms reach back. Heart opens. Glutes engage. Bend the knees. Taking one more breath here. Release. Press back into your puppy pose. And then come back into that tabletop position, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips, up and back, downward facing dog. Woo! We haven't really even gotten started. You guys are doing great. In down dog, feel free to move, pedal out the feet, bend one knee, bend the other, sway the hips, shake out the head. Any movement that feels good to you here. reminding yourself that we are practicing the right kind of effort. We are practicing nonviolence in our practice. We are working towards awareness. So listen to the body. Really pay attention to your movement so that you can feel what works for you and what doesn't. All right, yogis, I want you to reach the right leg high to the sky. Now, find balance between your left foot and your right hand. Start to come onto the left fingertips. Now again, this is quite a mental game. It's a lot about listening to the body and finding that point of balance. Some of you will stay here. Some of you will reach that left arm back. Some of you will float the left arm up. Core is strong. Legs are strong. Gaze is fixed. Take one more breath here. Release the left hand. Release the right foot. Come forward into a plank position. It gets harder. Option to lower the knees and do this from tabletop. Again, we're focusing on building strength, carefully, mindfully, with awareness. See how it feels. Plank position, right foot hovers off the ground. Press into left foot, right hand. Can you come onto the fingertips? Maybe, maybe you start to hover. It's hard. One more breath here. Release, left hand, right foot, lower the knees, lower the chest, lower the forehead for this one. I want you guys to play with it because it feels really nice. Squeeze the elbows in, tuck the pelvis. As you tuck the pelvis, allow the spine to ripple forward. Head and neck are the last things that come up. Squeeze, palms back, elbows in, child's pose. Lengthen out through the sides of the body. Remind yourself, child's pose is always an option. Please come back to child's pose at any point that you need a break. You need to come back to the breath, whatever the body needs. Inhale, tabletop, tuck the toes, down dog. Left side, we inhale, left leg floats high. Press into your right foot and left hand. Notice how the core has to switch on to compensate for that right hand becoming a little lighter. Come onto the fingertips. Maybe you stay here. Maybe that right arm walks back. Maybe that right arm floats up. Keep your gaze fixed. Keep the core engaged. Keep pressing into right foot, left hand. One more breath here. Release the right hand, release the left foot. We come forward into our plank. Remember, you can drop the knees if you need to. Strong plank. Push the ground away. Engage those legs. It makes it a little bit easier if you separate the feet a little bit wider. Float the left foot up. Notice how the core has to work a little bit harder now. Maybe you come onto the right fingertips. Maybe the right arm floats. Notice the difference between the sides of your body. Take one more breath here. Release left foot, release right hand, lower knees, lower chest, lower forehead. Tuck the pelvis, ripple forward, head and neck are the last things that come up. Palms draw back. We lengthen out through the abdominal wall, engage the glutes so you don't pinch through the lower back. Child's pose. Really round out through the spine. Get a nice stretch. Inhale, tabletop, tuck the toes, down dog. Beautiful, guys. All right, find your breath here. Come high up onto the balls of the feet. Gaze to the top of the mat. We tiptoe our way forward. Maybe see how far you can get without bending your knees so you really plug that femur into its hip socket. And then find a rag doll at the top of the mat. Releasing any tension in that lower back. Shifting the weight forward so that your hips stack over your ankles. Maybe you grab onto opposite elbows, hands behind head, hands behind back, hands behind knees. This is your forward fold. What does the body need today? Maybe you sway. Maybe you bend one knee, bend the other. You guys are doing great. We're still in our warm-up. Take one more breath here. Slowly release the hands down to the ground. Gentle bend of your knees, chin to chest. Let's roll it up, vertebra by slow vertebra. Head and neck, last things that come up as they do, shoulders reach up, back, and down. Feet can stay hip distance apart, or we heel toe those feet together, maybe keeping a slight gap in the heels, energetically pressing the toes in and the heels out so that we feel that lift, that engagement of the glutes, the lifting of the kneecaps as the quads turn on, belly draws in, shoulders relax, hands to prayer at heart center. Take a moment here to connect with your breath, your body, your intention. We are halfway through our week. I wish you guys the most fabulous practice. You've got this. Blink those eyes open. Let's get started. Inhale, sweep the arms high to the sky. Feel the length. Draw the ribs in. Keep everything engaged. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips, maintaining the length in the spine. Inhale, flat back. Gaze goes up. Fingertips to the ground or hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands. We step the left foot back. Lower the knee, sink the hips, open the chest, maybe come onto fingertips. Exhale, plant the hands, right foot steps back. We take an inhale in our strong plank pose. Exhale, lower knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Inhale, ripple forward, head and neck are the last things up. Squeeze back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same leg, right leg floats high to the sky as we inhale. Exhale, right foot between your hands, lower the knee, sink the hips, open the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, left foot steps forward and we forward fold over our legs. Pressing into the feet to lift ourselves up, we inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center, release arms to your side. Let's do it again. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the length in the spine as you hinge from the hips. Inhale to a flat back. Gaze up. Exhale, plant the hands. Right foot steps back. Lower the knees. Sink the hips. Open the chest. Exhale, hands down. Left foot steps back. Strong plank position. We inhale. Exhale, lower knees, lower chest, lower chin. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps high to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps between your hands. Lower the knees, sink the hips. Open the chest, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. Right foot next to left and we fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Hands to heart center. Arms to the side. One normal round of Surya A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Head and neck, relax. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump. Your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, navel to spine, down dog, breathe. 5 breaths here. So as we speak about staying mindful, especially through our transitions, moving through a vinyasa is something we do so repetitively in our yoga practice that it is so easy to lose ourselves in the movement that we no longer pay attention to the feeling. As you come through chaturanga, remember to shift the body weight forward so your elbow stacks over your wrist. It makes it so much harder. Don't dip into the shoulders. Keep the opening through the chest. Through up dog, don't pinch in the neck. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Squeeze those glutes. And always try to use your core back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale in your down dog as you exhale. Bend the knees, look forward, step or jump between your hands. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Variation of Surya B. Exhale, Ardha Utkatasana. Reach the arms forward, hover the chest over the thighs. Hips pull back as fingers reach forward. Arms reach behind you. Interlace the fingers, open the chest, and exhale, forward fold to the ground. We take an inhale in our forward fold. As we exhale, release the hands to the floor. Inhale to that long spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump. Your vinyasa with control. Inhale, we lengthen, engage those glutes. Exhale, squeeze hands and feet, downward facing dog. Right leg floats high to the sky, inhale. Exhale, right foot steps between your hands. Press into the feet, can you float the arms forward and up? Exhale, twist, left arm forward, right arm back, sit a little lower. Hold the legs as they are, inhale back to your high lunge. Woo, wobbly. Warrior two, drop the back heel, try to keep that bend in the front knee. Front palm flips, we inhale to reverse. Exhale, hands, cartwheel down. Lift the foot silently, step it back, shift forward, lower. Inhale, exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg floats high. Exhale, left foot between your hands. Arms float up, inhale. Twist, exhale, right arm forward, left arm back, sit a little lower. Inhale, back to that high lunge. Exhale, warrior two, drop the back heel, arms open. Front palm flips, inhale to reverse. Exhale, hands, cartwheel down, left foot lifts and steps. We shift, lower. Inhale, exhale, navel to spine, and breathe. Notice how much harder our practice becomes when we focus on what we're doing, when we slow it down just a little bit so that we can really feel the engagement, the length. Remember that in yoga, it is all about dualities. So it's strength and flexibility. It's extension and contraction. It's all of these opposing elements so that you can really feel the fire within the body, that incredible heat. Work with your breath, deep inhales, lovely long exhales. We take an inhale here. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or jump between your hands. Last round, guys. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips, Utkatasana, inhale. Exhale, Ardha Utkatasana, arms reach forward. Inhale, float the arms back, open up the chest. Exhale, forward fold to the ground, arms float up and over. We take an inhale in our forward fold. Exhale, release the hands to the floor. Inhale, flat back, gaze goes up. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump, your flow, high to low. Inhaling, exhaling, down dog. Right leg reaches up, we inhale, exhale, right foot steps between your hands. Press into the feet, the arms float up, high lunge. Twist as you exhale, sit a little lower. Inhale, high lunge, we keep the legs as they are. Exhale, warrior two, drop the heel, arms open wide. Front palm flips, keep the bend in that right knee as you reverse. Exhale, hands cartwheel. Right foot silently steps back, shift forward, we lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, down dog. Last side, guys. Inhale, left leg reaches. Exhale, left foot steps. Arms float up with the inhale. Woo, we twist. Sit a little lower. Exhale. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Front palm flips, reverse, keep the bend in that front knee. Exhale, hands, cartwheel down, left foot steps back, we lower, lift, down dog. Awesome job, guys. I know, feels like a lot. I'm definitely building up a sweat, but I love it because if you're like me, I do struggle with back pain. And I have to be mindful of my movements because what happens in our practice is if the right muscles aren't engaging, other muscles in the body kick in to compensate. So if your glutes are weak, your quads are always firing instead of your glutes. And that happens a lot in our yoga practice until you can really learn to engage the glute muscles. Our core, so often in our practice, you'll notice that the ribs flare. And when the ribs flare, we kind of lose that engagement of our core. So we want those TVA muscles to really wrap inwards, to hug, so that we keep that nice and engaged, protecting our back as we move through our practice. All right, yogis, believe it or not, that was the warm-up. We've still got a little bit to go. If you're not in down dog, come back to join us. Take an inhale in your down dog. As you exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or jump between your hands. Inhale to find length. Exhale, we fold. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Hold your chair for a moment. Now as you look down at your toes, you should be able to see them. If you can't, shift the weight into your heels. See if you can sit a little lower, maybe even the toes ever so softly lift up. We squeeze the inner thighs. We engage the glutes. See what it feels like to energetically draw the toes in and press the heels out. Feel the glutes fire up. TVA, wraps in. Lengthen through the spine. We sit lower, arms higher. Hover the body over your thighs. Hold here. Fingers reach forward. Hips pull back. We keep the engagement of the legs. Keep squeezing into inner thighs. Keep drawing the belly in so you don't pinch, you don't hyperextend in that lower back. Arms reach behind you, interlace the fingers. Open the chest. Exhale, fold, and release. Man, that feels good. All right, keep your fold for a moment. Shift the weight to the balls of the feet. We take an inhale here. As we exhale, release the hands down to the floor. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Your vinyasa or straight back to downward facing dog. All right, yogis. We start with today's flow. Today's flow is a slightly longer one, but we're only going to do one round. So it's going to be a lot on the right side. We'll take a break. Do it on the left side. Take a break. And then we'll continue with the rest of our practice. All right, guys. As you inhale, right leg floats high to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip, but keep your shoulders squared to the front. As you keep those shoulders squared, keep reaching your right heel towards your left glute, right knee up towards the sky. As we shift forward into a plank position, your right knee is going to come out to the side as if it's going for your right elbow, but then draw it across the body to your left elbow and reverse what you just did to come back to the three-legged down dog with the knee bent. So mindful movements here with the hip as you come forward into plank. Knee out to the side, reaching for your right elbow. Draw it across the body to your left elbow. Keep the shoulders squared and reverse what you just did back into your three-leg down dog. One last time. Bring it forward, circle it around, lift the knee a little higher, reverse it back, up to the sky, and bend. All right, guys, this time knee to nose, tiger pose. Lift it higher, pull the heel higher so that when you flex your foot, you can step the foot between your hands. Maybe the hands lift up, but you're building that space so that eventually they don't. Feet hip distance. Press into the feet. Arms reach forward. Push into the legs. Lift up. High lunge. All right, guys. Square the hips off. Sit a little lower. Draw the belly in. Hands behind your head. Now, back leg is straight. As you exhale, bend the knee towards the ground. Round the chest. Squeeze the elbows in. Inhale, straighten both legs. Squeeze the inner thighs. Open the chest. This requires a lot of engagement to keep the balance. We bend, round, lower. Inhale, straighten, open elbows, squeeze. Woo! Exhale, bend. Inhale, open. Now, bend, keeping the back leg straight. Come back into your high lunge. Can you sit a little lower? Straighten that back leg, square the hips, draw the belly in. Externally rotate the shoulders. Inhale here, exhale, warrior two. It's tough when we slow it down. All right, guys, warrior two. You have these lovely mats with a line down the middle. Your front foot's on the line, your back foot crosses the line so that your front heel is in line with your back arch. Keep bending into that right knee. Push right knee away. Press into the outer edge of your left foot. Feel the opening up at the hips as you do this, and then arms open long. Gaze to front middle finger. Can you keep your legs exactly as they are? We're going to inhale, left arm sweeps down and forward, right arm reaches up and back. Variation of reverse warrior. We're going to circle the arms to a variation of extended side angle. Right arm reaches down and back, left arm up and over. Keep the engagement of the legs. Keep tucking that right hip in. Inhale, reverse, lengthen. Exhale, extended side angle, that right leg. Last time, inhale, reverse, exhale, extended side angle. Now just to release that pressure, straighten the right leg. As you reverse Trikonasana, exhale, triangle. Either fingertips to your shin, or maybe you hover the fingertips. You can close the stance of the legs if they feel too far apart. Keep tucking that right hip in, pulling right hip into its hip socket, opening up through the left shoulder. Use your obliques. Take a breath here. Really make sure those obliques are supporting your back as you do this. Inhale back to warrior two. All right, pivot onto the back ball of the foot. Circle that left arm back into our high lunge. We take an inhale here. Exhale, hover the body forward. Bring that left knee to your chest. Hands to heart center. All right, guys, we're still on the right side. Press into your right big toe to find balance. Lift through that left hip flexor. I want you to bring that left knee behind the right. Try to get as low as you can before the toes touch the ground, and then tap your knee to the floor. Lift back up, knee to chest. We're going to come to the front, dragging, almost as if you're coming into eagle legs, but we're going to drop the toes. How low can you go before you drop the toes, and then lift yourself back up. Knee behind. How low can you go before you lower the foot? Lift up, reverse, and lower. Lift, up, back, lower, lift, up, come all the way down into that dragging variation. So from here, squeezing inner thighs towards one another, we're going to take our right elbow to that left knee and open. If you need to, for balance, you can bring the right hand down and maybe reach the left arm up. There's an option for side crow if you want to take it. So pressing here and then coming back. We take one more breath where we are. Wherever you are is fine. Woo! Press into that right foot. Left knee to chest. Wow, that right leg's feeling it, I know. Last transition. Start to bring left foot back. Two options. Option one is we just step the foot back and lower the knee. That right leg might be like, I'm done. It's totally fine. If you want to practice a little bit, how low can you go and lower the knee before the foot? I find that so hard. All right, yogis, you were doing fantastic. Let's take a moment in Vinyasa so you can release the back foot, shift the hips forward. Because we're trying to focus on engagement, try not to just come here and sit. Feels like a good stretch, but we've lost engagement and you might actually be over pulling. So squeeze the feet towards one another. Inner thighs are engaged, hips reach forward, and now we get a nice stretch through the left hip flexor. Arms up to the sky. Beautiful. Keep squeezing. All right, guys. We're going to cactus the arms. Exhale. Sweep the arms forward. Inhale. Cactus the arms. Exhale. Sweep the arms forward. Inhale. Cactus. Exhale. Sweep the arms. Inhale. And then straighten that right leg. Lower hands to the ground. Ooh, that right leg needed it. Option to tuck the back toes. If it feels better, please put something under the knee if it's uncomfortable. Sometimes these mats don't offer a lot of cushioning. Right toes point up to the sky. Heel pulls towards you so that that right hip plugs into its hip socket. Chest opens, belly draws in, and then the belly lowers towards that right thigh. Well done, guys. We take one more breath here. All right, we're gonna bend into that right knee once again. Bring the arms up to the sky, cactus the arms, and turn to the left. Bring your right elbow on the inside of your left knee and slide that left foot behind you. So you've got a little more support here. Really open up through that right thigh. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, crunch elbow to elbow, round out through the spine. Inhale, we open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Last one, close. Use engagement of the muscles. Open. Bring your right hand to the floor, left arm up to the sky. Keep pressing that right knee away from the body. Maybe we stay here. This is a really nice hip opener. You can even move a little bit. More advanced option. Please only go there if it works for you. Right arm underneath that right leg. We hover the foot. Left hand to outside of right foot. Right leg stretches out. Gaze goes under the left armpit. Breathing here for 3, for 2. Release the foot if you had lifted it up. Everyone bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Slide that left foot back and lift the knee up. Lizard lunge. All right, options. You can stay here. You can come onto the forearms. If you're like, I want to try something a little different, there's an option for baby grasshopper here. So, first option, hands on the floor. You're going to bring that left knee behind right. Squat as low as you can and grab onto your left foot. All right, option 2 is if you've got the forearm on the ground, we take it a little bit lower. Right leg is going to engage, slide, and grab. Reach it back. It's hard. All right, guys. We take one more breath where we are. Whew. Right foot steps back. Optional Vinyasa. We meet back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths before we do the left side. Told you it was a long one. That right leg is like, what just happened? It's interesting though. Notice how different the right and left feel. We have 5 breaths. Option to stay in down dog. Option for child's pose. Some of you might be like, I'm ready for an inversion. Like, so much of the legs. Let's work on the arms. Option 1 is straight up headstand. If you want to come into a safe headstand, really pressing into the elbows, engage those serratus muscles. Option 2 is that you can lower the right forearm, keep the left hand in line with your right elbow, and come into headstand variation. Final advanced option, and I actually only just tried this morning, so I don't even know if I can do it, is funky pinch-up. So making sure that that left hand is a little either in line with your right elbow or maybe a little further back. Now the trick here is to really focus on like your crow arms. It's perhaps easier than pincha. It's less scary because we're not going over. So you're going to bring your left knee to the top of your left elbow. The trouble is that it's really wobbly. And then shift your weight as far forward so that you can lift that right foot. It's hard off the ground. So even your teachers sometimes struggle. There's always one side that is going to be easier than the other.
Again, I'm quite new to this posture variation, so I will be practicing it. But it's always fun to try something new, and I think this is a great step towards Ekapada Bakasana, so one-legged crow, which I still can't do yet. It's a really tricky one. If you happen to be in headstand, maybe take a moment, come out, take a child's pose. If you're playing with that funky pincha variation, take one more breath where you are. We're all going to make our way back into downward facing dog as we continue with the left hand side. All right, guys, we're so close. Moving on to our stretches soon. Left leg floats high to the sky, we inhale. Bend the knee, open the hip, square the shoulders off to the front of the room, lift that left knee a little higher. Now draw that left knee out to the side as you shift your weight forward, as if you're bringing the left knee to left elbow, and then twist. Reverse what you just did, reach it up and back. Let's do that again. Bring the knee out to the side, towards your left elbow, and twist. Push the ground away. Inhale, back, circle it back. Last one, guys. Reach it out, come forward, twist. Inhale it, up and back. Well done. Bring your knee to your nose, tiger pose. Lift the knee a little higher, squeeze the heel to your glute. Flex your foot, push the ground away, step the foot between your hands. Feet hip distance, arms reach forward and up. So we use the strength of our legs and our core to lift us up. All right, guys. Sit a little lower in your high lunge, hands behind your head. Bend your right knee, round out through the back, elbows together. Inhale, straighten both legs, open the chest, squeeze inner thighs. Exhale, bend, round, lower. Inhale, lift, squeeze, open. Last one, lower. Inhale, lift. Arms up to the sky, keep the back leg straight. Bend front knee. Inhale here, exhale, warrior two. Okay, find a strong warrior two. Bend into left knee. Press into outer edge. Push left knee out. Open hips. Arms long. Inhale, reverse warrior variation. Right arm reaches forward, left arm back. Exhale, extended side angle. We circle the arms around. Inhale, we reverse. So use your obliques to lift you up. Exhale, come forward and circle. Last time. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, circle. All right, guys. Inhale, reverse Trikonasana. Did I get that right? Yeah. And then exhale, bring left hand to left shin, right arm up to the sky. You can always close the stance ever so slightly. Tuck left hip in, right shoulder opens. Use the obliques to hover the body. Beautiful, guys. We take one more breath here. Slowly lift back up into your warrior two. Pivot onto the back ball of the foot. Sweep the right arm around, both arms high to the sky. We take an inhale here. Exhale, hover the body forward. Inhale, right knee to your chest. Woo, hands to heart center. Working the left side now, guys. I know you've got this. See, lift through the hip flexor. Maybe flex your foot. Press into your left big toe for balance. We bring the right knee behind the left. How low can you go before you drop your foot and tap the right knee? Lift yourself back up. Now, reach it over, lower down. This one's really hard. Come down, lift back up. Bring it behind. How low can you go before you drop and tap? Lift up, and then bring it across. Beautiful. Last time, lift, behind, lower, lift, come up. As if you're coming into eagle legs, drop the foot, sink the hips. So, coming into dragon, sitting on your heel, Option to find your balance is a tough one. Option to take that twist. Option to take side crow if you want to come into it. Wherever you are, we take one more breath. We all press into that left foot. Whoa, that left leg feels it. Right knee to chest. All right, guys, press into your left big toe. Option 1, right foot steps back and you lower. Option 2, I know that leg is feeling it. See how low you can go with the knee. You don't want to bang like what I did. Or put a pillow underneath as you start to lower. All right, guys, on Vinyasa, release the back foot. Squeeze inner thighs. Arms reach high. Find that engagement. Hug. Squeeze. Shift and lengthen. Right hip flexor. Should be getting a really nice stretch here. We take an inhale. Cactus the arms, exhale. Inhale. Sweep round through the back. Exhale. Inhale. Sweep. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. We just inhale. Sweep the arms up. Straighten that left leg out. Hands to the ground. Pull left hip into its hip socket. Flex left foot. Open chest, belly draws in. Lower down. Lovely, guys. We take one more breath here. Slowly bend into that left knee. Float the arms up. Cactus the arms and turn to the right. So you're going to bring left elbow on the inside of your left knee. Draw your right heel back, maybe tuck your toes. We inhale here. Exhale, round it out and squeeze. Inhale, open and extend. Exhale, round and squeeze. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This time we inhale to open. Release the left hand, right arm up to the sky. Get a nice stretch here through that left leg. Option to stay here. Option to thread. Left arm under. Allow that left foot to hang. So shift your weight back into that left hand. Grab your left foot with your right hand and stretch. Gaze underneath your right armpit. 3, 2, release, left foot. Everyone has their hands on the inside of your left foot. Draw the right foot back to the back of your mat. Lift the knee, find lizard lunge. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lower onto those forearms. Get a nice stretch in the hips. Maybe you come onto the hands. Bring the right knee behind the left and take your grasshopper. Find a way to bring it back. Maybe you lower right forearm and still take grasshopper a little bit. Oh, lowered so much harder. All right, guys, take one more breath wherever you are. We step left foot back. Optional Vinyasa, down dog. Yogis, you are amazing. That was it for the dynamic part of our flow. 5 breaths again. So if you took those inversions, take them on the other side. Either arm variation in headstand or coming into your funky pincha. So making sure right hand is either in line with your left elbow or maybe even a bit further back. That elbow bends backwards. Knee finds a balancing position. And then you shift your weight forward as you would in crow pose, for example, and then lift. Oh, it's always one side a little bit easier than the other, but it's still hard. Something to play with. Find your balance. Find your breath. We're almost at the end. Beautiful, guys. Take child's pose when you are done. Allow the forehead to rest on the ground, connecting with that point of intuition. Allow the body to melt, letting go of what's done, letting go of what's to come. Connecting with our ahimsa, making sure that your thoughts are kind, your words are kind, your actions are kind. We start with kindness towards ourselves. And when the inside looks good, the outside looks good too. On your next inhale, come forward into a tabletop position, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. We take an inhale in our downward facing dog. As we exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or jump through to seated. Reaching left leg long. We bring right foot across the left. Left arm to the sky. We hook left elbow across right knee and we twist. Gaze goes over our right shoulder. Lengthen through the spine, inhale, exhale, twist a little deeper. Taking one more breath here. Counter your twist, hands to the left, chin to chest. Come back to center. Bring that right knee over the left if you can, otherwise regular Janushirshasana. Arms to the sky and fold. Allow the weight of the upper body to allow you to stretch a little deeper as you fold. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly rolling yourself back up through center. We change sides. Right leg long, left knee bends, right arm up to the sky. We hook and twist. Gaze goes over that left shoulder. Grow a little taller, twist a little deeper. And then counter your twist, chin to chest. Bring knee over knee, or regular Janushirshasana, arms to the sky, and we fold. Taking one more breath here in our fold. And slowly starting to roll ourselves up through center. Bringing both feet onto the mat, knees are bent. Arms reach forward, chin to chest. We roll ourselves down, vertebra by slow vertebra. Engaging the core, releasing the shoulders, the neck, the head. Hug your knees in towards your chest and give yourself the biggest squeeze that you can possibly give yourself. Tensing every single muscle in your body. Head lifts up, nose touches knees. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Hold your breath as you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Tense, tense, tense. Everything inwards. Open up the mouth and exhale. Let it all go. Coming into your final relaxation pose, Shavasana. Legs go long, feet fall out, arms away from the body, palms facing up towards the sky. No longer controlling our breath, no longer controlling our body, each and every natural. Inhalation and exhalation taking us deeper and deeper into our mat and into relaxation. Those are fireworks, they sound like a war zone here. I'm going to read something to you. Don't feel like you need to pay any particular attention, just allow anything that resonates to sit with the subconscious. This is called Believe You Can. It's time. The world will not stop spinning. The clock won't stop ticking. Days won't stop slipping by. It's time. Things won't suddenly get easier. The difficulty does not remove itself. The path does not narrow. It's time. That perfect moment, it doesn't exist. A flawless beginning is fiction. The stars will never align for you. It's time. Not tomorrow, not someday down the road, but this very second. See, you don't need all of the answers. You don't need to know or be sure or be armed with guarantees. Your job, your only requirement is to begin. It's time to trade fear for opportunity, someday for right now. It's time to stop thinking small, stop seeing what you want as a reach, to stop looking at success as a stranger. It's time to sit down and convince yourself that what you want can be accomplished. The problem with possibility is that it's incredibly hard to quantify. But no matter the obstacles, remember, the higher you climb, the better the view. The longer the road, the greater the experience. I would rather fall 1,000 times and continuously get back up stronger than be someone who looks at the world through a window. Because at the end of the day, sure, they have no scratches, scrapes, or bruises, but I have no limits. It is time to stop separating what you want from what you have and take that step forward. It's time to go and get it. No one is stopping you but you. If your awareness left, just gently draw it back in. We become aware of our senses, weight of the body on the mat, temperature on our skin, sound of my voice, the music. Become aware of your breath, deepening inhalations and exhalations. Tuning into that rhythm of the breath as the belly and the chest rise and fall with every deep inhalation and exhalation that you take. Savoring each and every sensation. We begin to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, sway the head gently from side to side. Floating the arms overhead, we stretch as if we just got up. Ready to take on whatever life throws our way, remembering that we can't change the things that happen to us, but we can control the way that we react to them. Remind yourself to react from nonviolence, from ahimsa. Hug those knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Use this as an opportunity for gratitude. We thank ourselves for being here. We thank our bodies for all that they do for us. And then roll gently over to the right-hand side, connecting with the earth below you, drawing that powerful energy in, recognizing that this fetal posture represents opportunity, represents new beginnings. So we make a mental note of our intention, remind ourselves to take that intention with us, so that we can live our lives with purpose, with truth, through nonviolence. Pressing yourself up to a seated position, keeping the eyes closed if you can, hands come to prayer at heart center. We seal our practice the way that we began with 3 deep breaths. This time as you inhale fully, sweep the arms high to the sky. Palms come to touch. We open up the mouth and exhale, hands to heart center. Once again, deep, full breath in. Arms reach high to the sky. Open up the mouth and let it go. Last time, deepest, fullest, most expansive breath. We inhale, hold our breath at the very top, just for a count of 3. Picking up all of that good energy for 2. Open up and let it go. Thumb knuckles to forehead center. Always in gratitude. Gratitude for this practice, and always, always so much gratitude for you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'll head over to the chat, so if you have any questions or anything that you want to share, hit me up, send me a message. I am Mindful Sandra on Instagram if you don't follow me already. And I'm teaching again on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're going to be doing a flow to let go, mandala flow. So yeah, come back and join me. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. See you soon.